All right, so Gronk, we know that he's battled injuries all year long. He played all 94 of the Patriots' offensive snaps in the AFC Championship game. No tight end in the last 10 years has played more in any game. He's been one of the great players of all time in the relatively brief career that he's had in the big picture of things. But he just obviously, as you watch him play, isn't the same. Do you believe a week from Sunday will be Rob Gronkowski's last game?
Yes, I believe it'll be his last game. And listen, Rob Gronkowski's had a Hall of Fame career. There's no question about that. But you just see, we've seen, just look at the timeline from him being traded, almost being traded, this offseason, and just the injuries that he's had throughout his career, and just this whole season, he hasn't looked the same. He's looked slower. He's lethargic out there. He's reemerging in the postseason, but that doesn't take away from the fact of how he's looked throughout the season. I think this is going to be it for him.
I get what you're saying about maybe his health is the biggest factor here, but do you think if they don't win this Super Bowl, that changes anything for Gronk?
No, I don't think so at all. I think Gronk has accomplished so much in his career, whether it's on the field and off the field, with his money and everything. I think Gronk has bigger things in store for him.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of belief that he could go to Hollywood and be an action movie star and all that, and God bless him. I want to start by just agreeing with you. I believe Rob Gronkowski is a lock for the Hall of Fame. He absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame, despite the fact that his career hasn't been that long. But as you watch him play, can he even keep going? There were stories last year Belichick was ready to trade him physically. Do you think he looks like he could keep going even if he wanted to?
I don't know, because you see him in the postseason. He had the nice big catch against Eric Berry that looked tremendous. But I don't know how many more of those catches he has in him. You start looking through some of the stats and some of the things, even outside of just his catches and touchdowns that are down. Like Rob Gronkowski used to catch a lot of balls down the field. Over 10 yards in the air, those are down 30-40% back from 2014. His yards after contact, remember he used to catch the ball, run 5-6 dudes over, 5 yards after contact, those are down like 50%. Like he just doesn't have, at some point in time, your body gives up on you. And it looks like his is starting to do that right now because he looks stiff. He doesn't look as explosive. And as much as you might want to do it mentally, sometimes physically you don't have it.
So is that more just a product of that position in the NFL at this point, the tight end position? Is that more just the way that Gronk plays? What is it?
That's it. It's the way that he plays.
It's the way that he's playing. I mean, he's 6'6", 260, okay? That's a lot of surface to hit it. And he's had a lot of contact with a lot of people over the years, and over time, it wears on you.
Well, I'll compare him to the late, the Earl Campbell, the great running back of the Houston Oilers. He played 7 years. For 6 years, he was unbelievable. His 7th year, he falls off a cliff because he took so many shots. Like, Rob Gronkowski don't put moves on anybody.
Right.
He doesn't run out of bounds. He looks guys up.
All right.
You look at the history of guys who've had back surgeries and how much longer it continues after that period. And listen, this is the opposite of diminishing him. He's been one of the great players of all time.
Tell me the guy you know who used to have a bad back.
Right.
I mean, those people don't exist.
It carries on, unfortunately.